Hello everyone, it is me Vegeta T23 and welcome back to my new What If. Today we're talking about what if Vegeta was born with God Ki. Before I start, I'd like to mention I created a Discord server for you to join. The link is in the description of this video, so if you'd like to join in and talk to me and the rest of my fans, it's there. I'd also like to mention that I created an Instagram so you can survey my very uninteresting life. I mainly post Osu stuff. Now back to the video. In the last part, we discussed how the fight with Frieza and Vegeta started. It started pretty hard, with Frieza dominating throughout most of the battle, even after Vegeta used all his power in Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Vegeta then resorted to his new form he experimented with, called Mastered Evolution, or in other words, just another name for Super Saiyan Green. That power-up gave Vegeta quite a boost, as Vegeta started cowering in fear and going crazy. Vegeta then wasted him relatively easily. After that, while training on Beerus' world, Champa came in and gave our boys some food. But boys had something better, and Champa wanted Earth for it. So they got a tournament set in place. The ones participating are Goku, Vegeta, Broly, Trunks, and Raditz, who just unveiled his new Super Saiyan 4 form, piquing interest in Vegeta. Trunks even fought him to see if he can do any good, and Raditz proved himself useful. With the recap out of the way, let's continue the what if. Our squad has 2 more days to prepare, and Raditz is constantly being questioned by our Saiyans on how he managed to do it. Raditz simply replies that he's glad he didn't have his tail cut off, otherwise he wouldn't be able to go with Zaru. Vegeta actually gets an idea from him and asks Raditz how to achieve it himself. Raditz tells him the trick to it, and Vegeta then goes to the outskirts so he doesn't destroy anything, and the gang follows. Once there, Vegeta goes Super Saiyan God and starts working out his idea, and tries going Uzaru using an artificial moon, and goes Uzaru according to plan. His fur is red, and the power is quite huge, but he hasn't used it for so long that he needs to get used to it for a second, as well as get some more control with his God power. Once successfully done, Vegeta asks Raditz one more time if the theory is right, and Raditz just nods his head. So in one last proof it's the right way, his fur goes blue. He stops there to gain his composure, and after a couple of minutes feels comfortable enough to go even further. So he goes. He starts transforming, and it's going pretty well until something goes horribly wrong. Vegeta can't push any further, and his eyes become completely red again, just like in his Uzaru state. He does shrink to a humanoid figure part way, and already starts rampaging. Luckily the artificial moon goes away, and Vegeta goes back to his usual self. He regains his consciousness and asks what happened after he tried going further. Raditz says that the form could have had something behind it, and that the power was indeed mysterious, but he couldn't handle it well and went berserk for a second. Trunks then corrected Raditz and said that the power was enormous, and how it was rushing out of every pore of his body. Vegeta knew that the form he just attempted to transform into is quite risky and shouldn't be used unless as a last resort. He now knows what he can do if something goes wrong in a tournament, so he sticks with it being a last resort. They still have a day left, and Vegeta is just trying to figure out that form of his and how to take control over it, but it comes inconclusive. Raditz is trying to better himself by training in a gravity chamber, and is making excellent progress with Trunks as its training partner. Broly and Goku are just chilling back at his home after not seeing his whole family for so long. The day of the tournament is here, and they all arrive on an unknown planet and are asked to take an intelligence test, which everyone passes, with Broly and Goku having a little bit of a struggle, but are at least better than Goku and Boo from the canon. The Universe 6 fighters are Hit, Cabba, Frost, Vegeta, and Botamo. The tournament starts very similar to the original, with Goku and Botamo, and it goes the same. Same with Goku and Frost. Trunks then enters the battle, and he immediately goes in his blue form and attacks with all his might, and manages to knock Frost out, but gets dizzy all of a sudden and collapses. Frost then gets exposed of his tricks and is eliminated from the tournament for good. Trunks then goes against Vegeta and the battle begins with both making a mark on each other. Vegeta then starts spitting out heat, and Trunks doesn't take it very well and starts heating up fast. Actually, thinking about it, he knows the colder air is towards the ground, so he flies super low, basically pretty much dragging himself against the floor. He then starts charging up a Gallic gun while being in circumference of Vegeta. Trunks then fires the blast, and Vegeta is eliminated too. Trunks and Cabba are up next, and they're sparring for a little. Trunks sees that there's quite a bit of potential in the young Saiyan, so he tells him he's about to take it to the next level. But Cabba can't really go Super Saiyan, so Trunks decides to teach him with what he knows about it. He tells the Saiyan how at first he reached it using his rage, but later learned to control it by channeling his energy on its upper back, and Cabba does so. He manages to transform into a Super Saiyan for the first time, and Trunks then continues the battle. Cabba is getting near the edge of his power and knows if Trunks keeps it up, he will reach his limit. He then decides to power up a little further, going Super Saiyan 2 without any knowledge, and continues fighting Trunks, getting an edge on the Saiyan hybrid. Trunks can also do it, but wants to see if he can push the Saiyan a bit further than Super Saiyan 2. So he goes into Super Saiyan 2 too and battles Cabba. Seeing it's getting him nowhere, Trunks decides to take on the mysterious hit. So he goes Super Saiyan Blue, much to Cabba's utter surprise. Trunks then decides to knock Cabba out, with best regards, motivating him to better himself before he fainted. Finally, Trunks takes on Hit, as the battle begins uneventfully, being kicked inwards, outwards, and upwards, using the time skip ability of Hits. Trunks then goes blue and gets the same treatment, but getting closer. Finally, he goes blue evolution and finally gets an edge on Hit, having his power increased immensely. Hit can keep up with his time skip, but not for long, as Trunks figures out how it worked, and tries to predict Hit's movements to define his location at that moment, and it actually succeeds as he finally blocks a blow. After a few more successfully blocked hits, he gets an edge on the assassin and is actually fighting him for real. Hit is struggling a lot against a halfling and has to increase the duration, but Trunks adapts to it rather quickly and decides to finish it fast. So he goes and punches the hell out of Hit, so he's disoriented, and then lands a finishing blow towards Hit, knocking him out of the ring once and for all. Universe 7 wins and gets the Dragon Balls. Well, Super Dragon Balls. Everyone congratulates Trunks on his victory, with Vegeta being proud of his son. Everything from this point on goes the same. It's been quite some time since the tournament, and everyone is just chilling, not even doing anything. All of a sudden, they hear a loud bang outside, and they go take a look through the window to see a time machine outside. They rush out and see Goten through the window, barely clinging to life. They drag him out and then go heal him. Goten then awakens, sees Trunks, and attacks him out of anger, leaving the whole squad confused, especially Trunks. Chi-Chi steps in and asks him what's wrong. Goten, coming back to his senses, says that he got scared that he might be someone else. Just then, that someone else comes through a weird rift.
So, this is where you run off to, huh?
Black! With that, we're leaving things be for now. Thank you for watching. If you think I'm boring you to death, then click dislike. But if you liked the video, hit that like button. If you'd like me to cover your idea in the near future, comment down below. And as always, peace out.